Sup, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino. Look, I wanted to talk about something real quick because this story caught my attention yesterday, and it's amazing how people who have a lot of money, whether it be millions, whether it be billions, not all people, but some people who have a lot of money tend to place more value on that money than they do on human life and just on the principle of being kind to other human beings, in particular, other human beings who are clearly less fortunate than they are, who are clearly in a lower financial bracket than they are. And I guess you can look at that from a couple of angles. You can look at it from one angle of saying, well, in some cases that's how they got rich in the first place, through um, being greedy and just through ruthless tactics, robbing, stealing, criminal activity that led them to ascend financially. So I see that. I kind of see how those two go hand in hand. And again, I won't say everybody. I don't want y'all to think that I'm placing everybody who is financially successful in that category. But this particular story kind of jumped out at me because y'all know I'm a basketball fan. Y'all know I'm a Houston Rockets fan. I've been riding with the Rockets since 1981, since Moses Malone and Rudy T and Calvin Murphy and all those cats was on the team all the way up through the Olajuwon years, the championship years, all the way up to this day. I rise with the Rockets. Those my boys, even when they let me down. But the owner of the Rockets, for those who may not know, is a man named Tillman Fertitta. Um, Tillman Fertitta purchased the Rockets a couple of seasons ago. I think this is his third year of ownership of the Houston Rockets. But prior to purchasing the Rockets from Les Alexander, he was already a well-established billionaire. He is the owner of Landry's Inc. And Landry's is a company that has many other companies under its umbrella, like 600 hotels and restaurants and things of that nature. So he was already a billionaire long before he purchased the ownership to the team, the Houston Rockets. Um, he employs over 60,000 people at his companies, some of which are the Golden Nugget. Um, he had Joe's Crab Shack. Of course, he owns the Rockets. Um, a bunch of other restaurants and places of business that this guy owns. Well known, well known billionaire. He purchased the Rockets. Fast forward, years pass, 2 or 3 years pass. Now we're dealing with this coronavirus situation. And of course, during this whole coronavirus crisis, the American economy is taking a monstrous hit because due to the practicing of social distancing, which is a effort used to slow down and kind of squash the spread of the coronavirus, then quite naturally places like restaurants, hotels, casinos, the three major things that this guy owns, they are being forced to shut down. So him being a billionaire, of course he wants to keep making his money, but no money is being made, or very little is being made. But the question you have to ask, where does that leave the employees of those places of business? Those 60,000 employees, where does that leave them? There are some companies that have been making provisions for the employees to be compensated, if not in full, but in part. In some way, they're figuring out ways um, to keep the employees with something coming in during this time that no one knows exactly how long it's going to stretch out. But this man has decided to let his employees go without pay. It's just like, hey, yon, figure it out. And it was like no notice. They didn't receive any type of memo or no official statement or nothing that said, well, at some point we're gonna such and such. Nothing. Just don't show up for work, and I wish you the best. Here's a guy's worth $5 billion, if I'm correct. Now, what happened after that, after the news of that got out, is that he started to receive a wave of media, of social media backlash. People started just going in on him and tearing him a new one. And he came back after that and tried to clean it up. He even told beforehand, I think he told the people to file for unemployment or whatever, I don't know. But now he's trying to clean it up a little bit from what I hear. But the point is, what did you think was going to happen once you, being a billionaire, told thousands and thousands of employees who depend on those checks, who depend on their salaries, to basically just figure it out on your own? Did you think you were not going to hear any type of backlash, or no type of public onslaught was going to come your way from that? The greed of these individuals, even though I've seen it this all my life, it never ceases to amaze me. I'm still in a state of shock when I see how greedy these cats are and how uncaring that they are. It's like, psh, who cares? It's not me. People got bills, people got mortgages, people got rent, people got children, people have car notes, people have these jobs. Like any other job, is the source, it's the lifeline of American citizens' existence. Your salary. Most people are only, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I don't care if you see people who, they're living in nice houses, they're driving nice cars. Many of those people are doing well. But a lot of those people who you see that have those things are legitimately 1, 2, maybe 3 missed paychecks away from being homeless. Because we tend to live check to check. So just imagine the average citizen, the person who just, hey man, you know, the money they're making at this particular job is not a lot, but it's what they depend on to pay their bills. And you got a billionaire that basically just cuts the string, and it's like, yon, no life jacket or nothing, throw you in the water with the sharks. This reminds me of when Joel Osteen, during Hurricane Harvey in Houston, pulled a similar act. Now, it wasn't with um, employees, it was just with the citizens, the people of Houston, when he refused to open his church, to open it up as a shelter, a building that holds 15, 20,000 people. Because I know, because the Rockets used to play in that building, used to be the Summit. And once he received backlash, then he came back and opened the doors and let the people in. So what is it about these individuals to where it's like, I gotta protect my image until my image takes a hit? I don't care until my image takes a hit. One of the responsibilities of those who are blessed with money and blessed with power and influence and things of that nature, one of the responsibilities is to pass those blessings on to other people. There's a saying that says, to whom much is given, much is required. You don't get to just have, have, and there's no responsibility on you to share with those who are less fortunate. You just don't get to do that. So you look up and you see what we call regular people out doing seemingly more work than those who are sitting on millions and millions and billions of dollars. Shout out to all of the millionaires and billionaires and thousand and 100,000aires that are getting out and doing the work, because there are many. I don't want to misconstrue that and make people think they're not, but be mindful of these individuals who have no problem making money off of you, building up their wealth, building up their wealth, but give nothing back. Nothing back. I'm not saying that the man should break himself to take care of everyone, because maybe he didn't know, no one saw this coming, and maybe he didn't know how to handle it because it's so immediate. There's nothing in place. Who had a plan in place to say, well, you know what, if a virus breaks out that sweeps the whole planet, this is what we'll do. So you get the benefit of the doubt, but as a leader, you're supposed to spring into action. Gather your team and say, hey, what are we going to do for all these employees who are now out of work? Let's formulate something. And the people will appreciate you more if you show the effort, a sincere effort, as opposed to just a nonchalant, non-caring, inconsiderate mindset of, oh well. So Tillman Fertitta, owner of the Houston Rockets, people are calling for boycotts of your companies now. I mean, I guess they boycotted them anyway because ain't nobody going nowhere. But it's a sad, sad thing to watch rich and wealthy people try to squeeze a dollar in a time of crisis. Especially a declining dollar, because the economy is collapsing anyway. And it reminds me of something. Hold on, excuse me, let me clear my throat. Yeah. It reminds me of something that I saw this homeless brother say one time when I was at the gas station. This was probably 10 years ago. And I don't know what was going on. I think somebody pulled up and they were in a nice car and they shunned the brother. They didn't give the brother no money or no change or whatever. He might have been asking for a little help. I remember him saying to the person, he said, one day the playing field is going to level out and you're not going to be no different from me. I'm standing there pumping my gas watching him say it. He said, one day you are not going to be any different from me. He said, but the difference is I already live like this. And I'll be able to deal with it, but you won't. And that always stuck with me. So those who you think are poor, those who you think are at the bottom, one day, that bottom and the wisdom that they've accumulated from living in that bottom all that time, that will become the new wealth for those who have never lived like that and have never had to. Shout out to my homies, man, eating. Y'all know what the business is, man. But y'all like, comment, subscribe. Give y'all opinions on this, man. Put your comments and tell me how you feel. And peace.